right, welcome to another brand new video, and today we're going to be breaking down Arcane Dynamic Range SMT, or ADR SMT for short. This is going to be a magnificent concept, one that I have utilized for my swing trading model, the Arcane Fusion model. I think you guys are going to gain a tremendous amount of value from this because it is a unique type of SMT that falls within array matrix that I utilize. But I would say that if I utilize it primarily in my swing model, so not so much in my day trading model, I would say. But you have to understand what is an ADR. So if you do not understand what is an ADR, you will most likely not have an easy time identifying an ADR SMT. That said, let's go ahead and dive into today's lesson. First, I'm going to break down what is a regular SMT, right? Because an arcane dynamic range, or an ADR SMT for short, is a little bit more complex than just a regular fail swing SMT that gets, where you have a major swing or minor swing getting swept and passive reversing. And many ICT trader or many smart money concept trader utilize that as a signature in price. First, I want to explain to you why is it actually important to pay attention to SMT. If you are new to this concept, this is one of the major signs of institutional sponsorship where big money are essentially getting ready to initiate a reversal or continuation in the direction of a draw, of a major draw that has not been attained for that day or for that set period of time or for that week that you are trading. And SMT is at the beginning or the end of every major trend that you can see on the chart. If you go on your chart right now, you look at every single I wouldn't say every single daily candle or every single monthly candle, but a massive portion, I'm looking at 80% or more, are going to have some form of SMT within the smaller time frame, which had indicate or gave you some level of indication that we are beginning reversing, or there might be a reversal coming very soon. Monthly, weekly, daily, even session highs and lows, you can definitely find a lot of SMTs indication. SMT indicate accumulation or distribution phases are complete. If you're trading some form of a market maker model or MXM, it's essentially the same within the ADR library of concept or array matrix type concept. SMT tells you whenever a market is ready to expand. Next, I'm going to show you the visualization of a regular SMT so you gain an understanding and a visualization of this. So a regular SMT, when you have no SMT, all the market that you're trading will be correlating. What do I mean by correlating? It means that if this asset, let's say for example, this is NQ right here, and let's say this is ES. These two are typically correlating, right? When you have no SMT divergence, NQ will form a high here, and then this high will get taken out by this next major swing, right? And ES will do the exact same and then take out this. When you see this, this is essentially correlation. They are moving the exact same manner, following the same pattern. Same thing for a bullish example. Let's say this is YM, and let's say this is RTY, which is a correlating pair for that. If WEM creates a low right here, and then that low get taken out, RTY does similar, right? This low get taken out, then you have correlation. You do not have SMT. So this is not a strong indication of a buy scenario or sell scenario, depending on the example that we're looking at. This is simply showing you that we're moving in tandem, but there's no signature in price. The next step, I'm going to show you what a signature in price will look like with SMT. Let's say this is NQ right here, and let's say this is ES, okay? And then we're looking to reverse on the buy to go to the buy side, right? See how now when this low right here is left behind, the next low takes it, right? Which happened in a previous image. However, with ES, this low right here get left behind, but it does not get taken out. See, when you see that happen, this is when we have our signature in price. You have SMT that is confirming a potential reversal. Same thing here. Let's say if this is YM, and let's say this is RTY. If this low right here, right, is left behind and then right after that get taken out on YM, however, the same corresponding high does not get taken out by the same corresponding high here, then you have SMT, right? It's an indication that early indication that if you have all the things that you're looking at and paying attention, that we are going to be reversing to go to the sell side, okay? Now, another thing I wanted to mention, when you're looking at SMT, it's important to make sure that you're checking correlating time, and correlating candles. So if I'm checking to see if this high right here and then this high, this will be essentially what I mean by correlating time. This might be 8 a.m. by the time this high get printed. So on 8 a.m. or right around 8 a.m., you also check here. And then if this get taken out and create a swing here, let's say at 9 a.m., you also check right around 9 a.m. What do we do here? Do we respect PD array internally here? And then do not take this, confirm my SMT. But when you're confirming SMT, you have to check the time this swing gets created, because if you're relying on the naked eyes to be able to identify this, you're going to make a lot of mistake. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention prior to us moving forward to the next slide. Let's talk about what is an ADR. What is an ADR range, or Arcane dynamic range, I should say. In the case of a bullish range, it's a qualified swing low followed by a qualified swing high with internal range liquidity in between both swing, and the correction of the swing high must have rebalance. Any of these. The reason why, and then the importance of the ADR, is to prime your bias for a specific continuation, right? When you are priming, when you already have a bias established based on the structure you're trading, you don't have to really do a lot of high time analysis, bias analysis, and all type of analysis, right? Prior to even looking to getting into your entry. It saves you mental capital when having a framework like this. We're going to come back to this chart, but this is essentially what is an ADR. We're going to come back to this chart because we're going to explain this as well. ADR SMT visualization. We talked about what is an ADR, right? If you have an ADR right here, this is have a low right here, and this is a high. And then in between that low and that high, we have a gap right here. We also have a gap right here. See how most of this gap have been rebalanced. When we drop here and confirm this swing high, all this gap get rebalanced, right? However, the low of our ADR get taken out. This was actually S, B, G, SCI, and this was CL, okay? You can see the range right here. This is our range low, this is our range high, and then we have our gap, right? So we already primed for what continuation because we rebalance our gap. On this other correlating asset here, do we have the same thing? Yep, low right here, high, and then we rebalance the gap inside of our range. Okay? The gap inside of our range has been rebalanced. Once that happened and we have both range here, I want you to kind of imagine if price cut off here and then we did not see anything past this line. You would have a clean range on either side, right? Because this is all this will look like. It will look like this. The textbook image of our ADR range. What you will want to see happen once you have a range, this price action right here and this price action right here. Once you have that, all you want to do is look for one of the range to fail and then see the liquidity of the low of that range being swept. If you are looking at buy scenario, that's what you will look for here. You will look for the low of an ADR to be taken out. Meanwhile, the low of the opposite ADR does not get taken out. Once that happens, automatically 90% of the time, the low that did not get taken out obviously is going to be the stronger pair. It is going to automatically already have a 50-minute fair value gap that we're residing inside of it right here that you can frame your entry and CI or CISD off of here, whether that's an IVG, unicorn breaker, breaker block, you name it. You can already utilize this key level because we are already manipulating inside of a key level. And then your immediate target is this. And if you have a higher time frame draw beyond this level, you can obviously go beyond that level. But you can simply target from this reaction here all the way to the top of this range and then be done. And that is what is an ADR SMT. I'm going to go back to the previous image. It is essentially true range, like true qualified range like this. One drops and take out the low, right, of that range instead of simply remaining inside of the range and then expanding. Meanwhile, the other one, instead of taking the low, come maybe close to getting it or just come to the next PD area right here, wicks below that and then respects it and then start pushing up. So you have one ADR right here where it got invalidated, but it could still potentially work because although it got invalidated, its invalidation is serving as a purpose, right? It's serving the purpose of reversal for both assets. So don't look at this as complete invalidation of your trade setup if you're looking at still be bullish in this case right here. As you can see, we have SMT here. and we have SMT right here. And this is how you identify an ADR SMT. This is an extremely powerful concept because if you utilize this to identify your SMT, you're going to find yourself having much more robust SMT to utilize, but also you're not going to probably cash as many trade because you're going to see that this SMT is extremely powerful. By the time when you get this, a lot of other confluence has already lined up. I enjoy utilizing this because it just gives me peace of mind whenever I see it. But overall, that's really all for today. I didn't want to really expand this for too long. I think that's very much straightforward and kind of give you a gist of what is SMT, what is a regular SMT, and what is the evolution, the elevated level of concept that I put together, which is ADR SMT. What is it entails and some of the ways that you could potentially utilizing it and engage with it. So I hope this was insightful. You guys gained a lot of value from this breakdown. If you guys have any question, please let me know in the comment section down below and I'll go ahead and answer those. You can also reach out to me on Instagram with Arcane Trades or on Twitter with Feriano FX. I believe it's Feriano FX or Feriano GX. I don't really remember. Feriano FX. And I'll be happy to answer if you have any question. And yeah, that's really all for today. With that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time, stay in profit. Peace.